gonna be a lady tonight. Right, I'll put this on the beginning of the video because when you watch this, it should be Wednesday evening. And I did promise that I'd be spraying that ceiling on Tuesday, which I did, but I've left my cameras on the job, which I've got all the footage on it. So I've just got my phone here just to do the intro to the video, which will be Wednesday's video. But at the minute, I'm just going to cut some skirting. There's a little bit of skirting that needs piecing in on that job, just where the old fireplace came out. And as luck would have it, I have got a length of it here in my garage. So I'm not sure if it's the same dimensions on the top, but I think they're going to have like a TV unit up against that wall anyway. So it's not going to be crucial if it's not exactly the same. But I've got to cut it down this way, I think. That is like a banana, I know. You can see that, like, you see the bend on that. Let's try and get rid of that bit. I think this middle bit will be flatter than the top bit, so let's measure twice and cut twice. That's my usual scenario. Measure twice, cut 3 times. That's better, definitely better. I really do enjoy woodwork, but I will not use a table saw. They're just too dangerous for me personally. I'm not very careful. I can be a little bit slapdash, and I know a table saw will end up taking one of my fingers off before too long. So bandsaw is about as dangerous as I get. I don't mind a circular saw, skill saw, fine with them, but not the table saws. When I was at secondary school, believe it or not, I don't know, you probably all believe it, I got banned from using any power tools at school. Anything I needed doing, I had to go up to the teacher and say, "Sir, can you sand this? Sir, can you cut this?" Yeah, I got completely banned from it. So it's always been in me to be a little bit impatient with things. There you go. All ready to rock and roll tomorrow. Now, who would have ever believed that I got banned from all power tools at school, eh? If I could go up to that teacher, I'd say to him, "Take a look at me now. I'll see you on the job tomorrow." So just going to add a few drops of water to this paint just to make it run through the sprayer a bit better. Not too much, doesn't need to be too wet and runny. It's not too thick anyway, this paint, as it comes out of a tin. So just, I don't know, maybe 10-15%, something like that. Could be 20%, nothing exact really. Just until you sort of think it looks good enough that it's going to go through a sprayer. It's all trial and error. You'll sort of get the feel of it as you go. If you learn to do this, you'll just get it. So I've just come out in the van, just let the dust settle a bit. So, well, less than 5 minutes, all that coving, all that ceilings had a mist coat and a bit under the stairs. And that, do you know what, that little erbauer is such a beautiful little machine. I know I've probably said it before on other videos, and I don't want to sort of keep saying the same thing, but for those that have just joined the channel and are looking at getting into spraying, from what I've seen of that little erbauer sprayer, it's quite a cheap entry-level sprayer. But it's so nice. The motor is really quiet. It's much better than the Wagner ones that I had. And I had a Wagner one which was about, I think I paid about 600 quid for it. It's the one on the cart with the wheels. Similar sort of thing really, but it's just on wheels. It just means it moves about easier. But that little one, the motor is so much more quiet. It sounds almost between like a Wagner and a Graco. That's sort of just a nice smooth motor running. Doesn't feel like it's struggling. And I've got that turned up to maximum as well, but it just pumps out very equal spraying pressure. I mean, that's one thing that over my years I've learnt about spraying, and I'm by no means an expert. You know, I'll show you as I'm teaching myself really. I mean, I've been spraying for, I don't know, maybe like 6-7 years now. I've been using sprayers, but what I've noticed with some of the cheaper ones, as you're spraying out, if you hear the pump pulsating, that obviously equates to what's coming out the end of the hose. So as the pump's going loud, slow, you're getting obviously more paint, less paint, more paint, less paint, and that will show across the wall or the ceiling, whatever. But with that erbauer one, it's just constant. There's no drop in pressure. It just does what it does. And I'm using a Graco extension bar on that. I think I've got a 300 extension bar on that one. And I've got the Graco tip holder, and I'm using a Graco 514 tip. So if you want to know about tip sizes, I think there is something on my playlist just explaining tip sizes for those that don't know. But if you don't know, there's tons of videos on YouTube about explaining tip sizes for airless sprayers. So yeah, I'm just going to let that dust settle in there a bit and then go back in. Might give it another quick mist over, to be honest. And then I'm just going to start on the walls, but I'll probably roll the walls. I'll probably cut them in and roll them. I won't start changing sprayers from white paint to grey paint, and that by the time we've done that, you might as well just get the roller out on the walls. I find the sprayers are brilliant for ceilings. They save a lot of time on ceilings, but sometimes on the walls, with all the masking up around sockets and windows and things like that, sometimes you're best off just getting the roller out. Now I realised in my van I have not got one paintbrush. The only paintbrush I'd left was one that I'd used yesterday, and I didn't wash it out. I left it there and it just went rock hard. So I had one of these silly little paint pad things, but to be honest it did the job for me. It was okay. Let me cut in a bit, look, show me approval. It's got two little wheels on it so you can sort of get close to the edge, but not nothing I'd recommend any of you buy. But I saw it on Amazon, I thought I'd try it, and it did get me out of trouble, so I can't slag it off too much. It's just coming up to 2 o'clock now, and I've had a nice day in here today. I was in there early. I'll be getting in there at 7:15, that job. And I'm at a point now where everything's got to dry. All the paint's drying, all the filler's drying, so it's not worth just standing there watching it. So I'm going to go home now. I've got to cut a bit of skirting down to piece in where that fireplace was. I'm going to pick myself up some nice new brushes because I didn't have a decent brush today. Can you believe that? That van with all that stuff in it, I didn't have one decent paintbrush. The only brush I had was the brush that I used to put the primer on yesterday, and I forgot to bring that home with me yesterday, so I had to wash that out this morning. but the ends of it was all like crusted up, so I couldn't use any like decent cutting in without things. So anyway, I'm going to treat myself to a new box of brushes, and so what's the date? So it's currently Tuesday, so I can't edit no video tonight because I've left my box with my little cameras in it on the job. So I've only got this phone with me, and half the stuff's on the camera. So next time you see me, it'll probably be Wednesday, and then there'll be a lot more done. Cheers. Right, so you now join me. It's Wednesday morning now. Hoping not too confusing you all with the jumping and timings of these videos. But anyway, it's Wednesday morning. I'm back in here, and I've been rubbing down all the filler previous what I did. And for that, I've been using this little Merca handy kit. With this, you get obviously the sander. I think they give you a few of these sanding sheets, and it comes with this hose. And what you get with that on the end of that hose is this. Now this will fit into like a regular sort of Henry Hoover, you know, that sort of Hoover slot. I suppose any Hoover with a circular slot really. It just sort of wedges in there, and turn your Hoover on, and you've got a really nice cheap dust extractor. And they're really good. I must admit, they are absolutely fantastic. I use this quite a lot actually. When you're just rubbing down the finer filler and you don't want the sander that's going to be too harsh on it, these are absolutely brilliant. I pick up some of these little adapters off of Amazon. They're only cheap, you know, you get about 4 or 5 in a pack. And you can see they step down from sort of different sizes. So you can see I've got one on the end of this little Rutland sander. And what that does, that allows the Festool to fit into that. Or even on the end of this, see that'll plug into that way, like that. And then you can put your Festool into the end of that. And then you've got all that lead to sand down without trying to pull machines around with you. But if you are just starting out, or you do want to get yourself some sort of dust extraction system, you haven't got to spend £500 on these things. I mean, these are brilliant, but if my honest opinion is that for what we do, if you're just decorating and rubbing down, that is no different to a Henry Hoover with one of them plugged into it. Does exactly the same job. They're different if you're cutting a lot of wood and you need proper dust extraction to take things away from circular saws and things. Yeah, then they're brilliant. But for decorating, just to take filler dust away, that with a Henry Hoover, exactly the same. For a fraction of the cost. So if you are looking to sort of upgrade your system and you're fed up with dust flying about everywhere, get one of them. I think they're about 40 quid, might be something like that. And I guarantee you will not be disappointed. There's a couple of bits on this ceiling that I'm not happy with, just where I'd skimmed, and there might have been a little bit of sort of like a little tiny gritty build up here and there, which is there. I don't know if you can pick that up. It's just a little bit there. I just want to rub that down, and then I'll probably give this ceiling another spray. Then that'll be the final spray. Nothing too major on that. I filled all the coving yesterday. Went along underneath this coving because there was some quite big gaps there. Filled all that in. So all the fillers had plenty of time to dry now overnight. So I'll carry on rubbing down, and then I can get some more paint on. And that's that area where that bit of skirting's going into there. So I'll get that fixed on, and I'll come back to you in a while. I don't think you want to watch me rubbing down walls. So I'll come back once I start painting. Right, it's coming up to sort of 2:45 now, so I'm going to disappear now. That's had another 2 coats and another little bit of filler just here and there. Everything else has had another 2 coats. Little bits of filler what I've missed here and there. But all looking good. We're starting to sharpen up. So another day in here tomorrow. Just sharpening everything up, sharpening the edges up. Give that skirting a little bit of mucking about. Just once that all glue's set, I just need to sand that down, try and get them joins a little bit finer. But other than that, all looking good. Ceiling's had another one. That's all done now. Right, I'm going to get all this home and wash my brushes out, wash the sprayer out, and I'll be back here tomorrow just to tie it all up again. So last day there tomorrow, and that's the day when you just fine tune, isn't it really? So today I was going around looking at the real smaller bits of filling and caulking and stuff like that, because you don't really want to leave that till the last day. You want to get that done the day before. Because when you start a job like that, obviously you're looking at all the bigger things you need to do. You look at the job as a whole and you get it done as a whole, you know, cover all the walls, sand all the walls, all the big bits of filling. And then as the job progresses, you'll start tuning into the smaller bits. So you don't want to be tuning into them smaller bits on the last day. You want to be tuning in the day before. So that's what I've done really. Just been around this afternoon, just really looking over everything, filling and touching in, getting everything ready tomorrow. Everything's undercoated again. All the window sills have had a primer undercoat. All the doors had its second undercoat. So then just glossing tomorrow and touching in. So not a great deal to do, but it'll still take me a good few hours. I'll see you all later for some more action. If I don't film the finished version of that job tomorrow, which I'll probably just show you it, but I might bolt it onto Friday's video. And Friday I'll start a plastering job. I've got the upstairs of a house to do, empty house, no one living in it, a bit of a building site, so that's lovely. No carpet to worry about and nothing like that. So thanks for watching. Thanks for anyone that's subscribed lately. My subscribers have been creeping up nicely, so thanks for that. Have a good evening everybody, and I will see you soon.